2023. A very good morning to you, beautiful people, and welcome to the frequency of Family Love 99.9 FM, where we have the Abia State Elections Debate 2023. Well, this debate avails all the candidates a fair playground to inform the people of their intentions, why they want to be elected. It also, in turn, gives the people the opportunity to ask the candidates questions when we throw the phone lines open.
Today's debate is for candidates vying for Abia Central Senatorial District. We have Honorable John Abraham Godson of African Democratic Congress, ADC, Honorable Sam Onibo of the All Progressive Congress, APC. We also have Chukwu Wachuku of the Young Progressive Party, YPP, and Honorable Darlington Wokocha of the Labour Party.
Well, the Abia State election debate is organized by the governorship, senatorial, and House of Representatives candidates across Abia State, and definitely will be aired across partnering stations. Well, the 2023 Nigerian Senate elections in Abia State will be held on the 25th of February 2023 to elect the 3 federal senators from Abia State, one from each of the state's 3 senatorial districts. Well, the elections will coincide with the 2023 presidential election and elections to the House of Representatives. Well, just to let you know as well that these debates is aired across partnering stations, online platforms, and blogs. Rapid 96.5 FM, Umuahia. Family Love 99.9 FM Umuahia, Flow 94.9 FM Umuahia, Vision Africa Radio 104.1 Umuahia, Real FM 99.1 Aba, Sun 91.3 Igare.
And other platforms are the All Facts News TV, Abia Pulse, Infonet Ninja, Candid Reporters, Casa TV, Prof. J's blog, and the Bridge News Online.
My name is Mr. C.
And my name is Esther Umelo.
Well, before we set the ground rules for today's debate, permits me to seize this opportunity to say welcome, gentlemen, to this debate organized by the Abia State Election Debate Team. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, we're going to be setting out the ground rules for this debate. But again, before I get to do that, permits me to say congratulations for being able to be part of this debate. For me, it shows that you really respect your constituents, you really respect the electorate, and it shows that there's a possibility for you to show accountability. And of course, for those who might be wondering what this debate is about, it's about the possibility of having the candidates tell you what they have in store for you. So once again, I say congratulations for taking part in this debate. Esther, a good thing to do, isn't it?
Yes, that's absolutely right. It just gives you a platform for people to communicate with you, connect with you, get to know your intentions. I mean, you'll be serving the people in the next couple of years for anyone that would take over that particular position. And so this debate gives you the platform to, let me use the word, sell yourselves.
Absolutely, that's what it is. And like we've always said, it's only incompetent candidates that would not debate. And again, permits me to use this opportunity to say congratulations, Honorable Sam Onibo. Recently, you had a court victory at the Supreme Court. Congratulations.
Thank you very much indeed.
Oh, well, so here are the ground rules for the debate. Now, talking about the ground rules, all candidates have 3 minutes to take or to make an opening statement, and 3 minutes each to respond to questions. Also, endeavor to be civil and do not speak until it is your turn to do so. Candidates will also be allowed to ask themselves questions at the right time after the first stage. Candidates will be given the opportunity for rebuttal when necessary. Now, for the callers, kindly focus on the issues raised by the candidates taking part here and now in the debate.
Dive into the reason we are here today. And I would love to start with Mr. Abraham Godson of the African Democratic Congress. Your opening remark.
Thank you very much, Esther. Good morning, Mr. C. It's my pleasure to be here today. I come from Umuahia, both of my parents from Umuahia South, and my early childhood was in Mbausi, Isialangwa, and from there we came back to Umuahia and graduated from Abia State University, Uturu, before traveling out of Nigeria as a missionary to Poland. And while in Poland, I rose from being a district councillor and the deputy chairman of the district council to being a city councillor, and was elected twice. And after living in Poland for 25 years, I decided to come back to Nigeria, not to get involved in politics, but to invest. But because I've seen what is happening here, the situation, I've come to conclusion that there is no way I can actually do what I want to do. A lot of young people begging me to help them, travel out, hunger in the land, without getting involved in politics. That we need to create an enabling environment. How is it that our people, when they travel out, they do very well? We need to create that enabling environment here in Nigeria, and that is the reason why I have decided to contest for this election. And I must say also that I believe this is the time to give the opportunity to people who are credible, people who are competent, committed, character, to bring the kind of transformation that we need. It's interesting that all my opponents, actually, they have all been in the system. And the situation is getting worse and worse. I believe this is the time to give the opportunity to new people, people who come with new experiences. Like I said, I stayed in Poland. When I went to Poland in 1993, Poland was a very poor country. I was earning more as a research assistant in IITA in Ibadan, the 20th largest economy in the world. I participated in that transformation. This is the time for
Mr. Abraham Godson of the
Dr. John Abraham Godson.
Okay, Dr. John Abraham Godson. I would ask you the same question, your opening remark, Honorable Sam Onibo.
Thank you very much indeed. And let me just start by thanking the people of Abia State, Nigerians, for their support, for their prayers, as I went through a protracted legal tussle to reclaim my freely given mandate, which I got after a primary election. So I want to use this opportunity to thank everyone. I want to start from there. And then I want to say that, look, I am a homeboy, village boy. I was born and raised in Obuo Ibere, which is my village. That's where I attended my primary school and all that. And then after finishing school, we were running around in the villages, doing little or nothing. Before I came to Umuahia to learn how to sell motor parts, I finished before I proceeded to Harvard College of Education in Owerri. I graduated from there as far back as 1983, served and taught for some years, and then continued with my education and work. And finally graduated from University of Science and Technology, where I did my master's program. Of course, I'm also a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators, London. As also a fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Management. I had the opportunity of working while as a teacher in the private sector, and I ended up working at the U.S. Embassy, where I was for nearly 18 years. And I resigned from the United States Embassy honorably, meritoriously, before I joined the National Assembly, where I was special advisor, public affairs, to the then Speaker of the House of Representatives, His Excellency, Right Honorable Dimeji Bankole. When I finished from then later Commissioner for Finance, before I was elected as a member representing Nkua and Umuahia North and South Federal Constituency. Well, to the glory of God, I am the first person within this federal constituency to have been re-elected. And I believe in service which cuts across youth, women, and the community. May I also mention that I was the first person to bring a U.S. ambassador here, as far back as 2001, when I facilitated a block of classrooms, and then from there, I was able to establish a secondary school, community secondary school, and the Ambassador led the foundation. So for me, it has been all about service, and I'm still willing to give service. And then we are looking for ways and means of enthroning good governance, and that's what I've stood for, and what I have challenged at a higher level, and to impact meaningfully and productively on the well-being of my constituents, who have used the power of their thumbs to elevate me to this position.
Thank you very much, Honorable Sam Onibo. Your opening remark, Chief Chukwu Wachuku of the Young Progressive Party.
Well, thank you very much, and I want to say fine good morning to everybody listening to us today on this program. I'd like to crave everybody's indulgence to give a minute to remember our fallen hero, gubernatorial candidate for PDP, Professor Ikonne, who departed. And I'd like to ask everybody to join us to commend his soul to the Lord, and hope the God of Almighty will give his family the peace of mind to bear this irreparable loss. A loss of one person, respective of the party, is a loss to all of us. So I'd like to commend his soul on behalf of all Abians to the Lord. Secondly, I'd like to appreciate and commend very highly everybody who is here debating this morning, starting from Dr. Johnson to Chief Onibo, to Honorable Dalenti Wokocha. It's taken a lot of guts to offer ourselves to represent the good people of Abia State. It's not as easy as just coming up and say, I want to contest. The two things that happen, those who offer themselves for service and those who sit at home and criticize those who offer themselves for service. And so for these gentlemen, including those who did not accept to participate in the debate, I want to congratulate all of you and all of us, for representing your parties. The issue is representation of our people. It's not about who you are. I believe that the criteria for representation is that you're the flag bearer of your party. And therefore, what we'll be talking about is not necessarily who we are, but more of what our policies are towards the people we choose to represent. And to that extent, my resume is in public domain. It's not something to be flaunting about. There's no one here better than the other. We're all candidates of our party. I respect everybody here. The issue, the difference would be, what do you have to offer to the people whom you're representing? And so to that extent, the Abia people in Abia Central become more important than who we are. And so I salute all these gentlemen. And nobody needs to know. Everybody can Google me. I'm Chukwu Wachuku. I really don't care about the chieftaincy title. Titles don't mean jack to me.
So your time is almost up.
Well,
So there you go. Would put the same question across to you, Honorable Darlington Wokocha.
Thank you, dear presenters, and my brothers that line up this morning to avail themselves to Abians and Abia Central people in particular. But I still have to align myself completely with what Chief Chukwu said concerning my constituent, Professor Ikonne. I want to say, may good Lord receive his soul in Jesus' name. Amen. I'm Darlington Wokocha. I'm from Isialango South. And as a serial legislator, serial in the sense that I have been in the business of legislation for almost 16 years, very active years. But before then, I'm from Mvosi in Isialongo South. And I did my primary school in Osioma, St. Thomas Anglican Church Primary School, Osioma, which today I'm bringing back to this, more than the standard when I schooled there. We are modeling the school and making it sound and great. And after that, because my father was a church teacher, he moved from one place to the other. I did my secondary school in one other local school, Omunlise Secondary School, and from there to University of Port Harcourt, where I read business management. Now, I did my postgraduate diploma in University of Benin and did my master's in public administration at Abia State University. And from there, I joined business. I was into procurement support into several big companies in Benin and Port Harcourt. And from there, I had to join the business of the legislation, which is when I ran for the House of Assembly. I won, quite unlike what it used to be in Isialongwa, where every person before me, before my emergence, they were only going a single tenor. But I had the privilege, by the support of the majority of Isialongwa South people, they granted me the opportunity of serving them the second time, owing to the fact that I did few things which they so much appreciated that counted favorably for me, like when I got to House of Assembly then, when they gave all of us a brand new Prado Jeep, I had to sell mine and use it to grade roads for our people, 110 roads then of major roads. And my people valued this so much and said, well, you have to break the genes. And they sent me the second time. And after then, they said I should go to the House of Representatives. And I think I've been there the first 4 years, and this is the second 4 years now to make it 8 years. And I think as we move on, most of the things I have done within this timeline will be stated clearly. And sincerely, leaving the best for the last, I want to thank all the Isialongwa North and South people, my constituents. They've been so wonderful. And I'm sure the ripple effect positively is what I'm enjoying today across the Abia Central, because the people of Osisioma, the people of Isialongwa North, the people of Umuahia North and South, and Ipuano are all waiting to get this largest extended to their places.
Okay, well, gentlemen, in case you just tuned in, you're still listening to the Abia State election debate, and of course this debate is that of the Abia Central Senatorial candidates of the various political parties. And yes, we were on the background of some of the candidates, just to let you know that this debate is aired across partnering radio stations, reaching you live first off from the frequency of Family Love, 99.9 FM Umuahia.
And we also have a Rapid 96.5, Flow FM 94.9, Vision Africa Radio 104.1 FM.
Moving on now to the next issue which we are going to be looking at, which is about the intentions. What is the reason? Why exactly are you gunning for the red chambers of the National Assembly? Why do you want to represent the good people of Abia Central Senatorial District? Permit me to start with you, Dr. John Abraham Godson, candidate of the African Democratic Congress.
Thank you very much again, Mr. C. I have an 8-point priority that I would want to achieve as a senator representing the good people of Abia Central. My number one priority is the issue of accessibility to my constituents. One of the problems we have in Nigeria is that during elections, politicians, they try to go out and be more accessible to people. And after election, they forget the electorate with their security, with their tinted glass Toyota Land Cruiser Prado and so on. And when elections come again, they come out. And I think that is wrong. That is very wrong. I believe that as elected officials, we are employees of the electorate. They have chosen us to go and represent them. And to this end, in every of my publication, my private phone number is accessible, and it will always be accessible. In every of the 6 local governments of my constituency, we're going to have a senatorial constituency office that will be functioning from Monday to Saturday. People can go there to lodge their complaints, to air their views. My priority number 2 is economic development by attracting investors. I came back to Nigeria as an investor. My a little over $1 million investment was sabotaged and jeopardized. We had to move it from Abia State to Abuja. We need to create an enabling environment for investors to come in here. And having lived in Europe for 25 years and having traveled to over 50 countries in the 5 continents, I have contacts both in politics and in the business world. But we need to create an enabling environment for these investors to come. Priority number 3 is education and capacity building, especially in the area of agriculture and, of course, other vocational fields. It's interesting, and I want to say that Michael Obara is my role model. The thing he did as the premier of the Eastern region, we are still enjoying it today. Look at the palm trees, look at the cashew plantations. We need to replicate that. There are better varieties of palm trees, the Tenera, the Super Gene, that yield, many times more than the normal breeds that we have. We need to do something in that area. I'm already doing something in that area when it comes to, mentoring young people in the area of agriculture. Priority number 4 is Abia Central to be the greenest senatorial district. It doesn't take much to plant trees along the road. It doesn't take much. And this is one of the things I want to do. I want in every of the 6 local governments, we're going to have a recreational garden park where people can go, rest, have picnic, and spend time with their families. I have 4 other priorities that are here, but I can, if you want me to continue, I can go on.
We're going to leave it there. But again, I will stay with you. I would like to stay with you.
Yes.
Dr. Abraham Godson, you did say during your opening remarks that the people of Abia Central apparently need new people. That
Yes.
was the line you used. And you said your opponent seated side by side you now have been in the system.
Yes.
Can you throw more light on exactly what you meant by that?
Okay, what I meant by that was, let me start with my friend, the Honorable Darlington. I want to use the exact words he used. He is a serial legislator. A serial legislator. He has been in the system for 16 years. First in the House of Assembly, secondly in the House of Reps. And in these 16 years, Nigeria has gone from bad to worse. My honorable elderly gentleman, Chukwu, who has also been in the system, and from what I know, he was the director of the Directorate of
Director General.
Director General
I had
of the
directors.
Directorate of Employment, and today,
Thanks for putting that straight.
and today, we have 60% unemployment, close to 60% unemployment amongst youths. All right. My neighbor here, Honorable Onuibo, also has been in the system. He has been elected twice, if I'm not mistaken, as a member of the House of Representatives. So these people have been there. But the situation is getting from bad to worse. When I left Nigeria in 1993, $1 was costing about, if I remember well, about 15 naira. Today it is close to 800 naira. Look at the poverty.
So is it believed that by virtue of them being in the system over time, just like you
They're part of the
pointed out,
system.
Yes.
mean that they may not make a good representative when they get to the
Absolutely. They have already shown what they are capable of.
Okay, so thank you very much,
you very
Dr. John Godson Abraham. Let me move to you, Honorable Samuel. You're smiling already. Apparently, you're ready for Dr. John Godson. I'll put the same question across to you. I'm sure your people are listening right now, the people of Abia Central, and probably listening keenly for you to tell them what exactly it is the reason you're vying to represent them at the red chambers of the National Assembly.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. And I would address some of the issues that is raised. Maybe if I have little time, sorry, I have some, my throat is cracking. Now, first, my colleague here, Dr. John, was talking about people who have been in the system and is waiting to get into the system before he makes, visible.
I would like for you to address the reason why you're going first.
Okay, before I handle that. Okay, very well. The reason I want, excuse me, the reason I have volunteered to go ahead and represent my people in the red chambers is because I have verifiable pieces of evidence of accomplishment. Before I was elected, that's as an ordinary citizen, working for community development, way back from the 90s to the 2000s, before I joined politics in 2010. And with all those accomplishments, which are verifiable, I'm not talking about imaginary things, the people have seen, and like I said earlier, for Ikwe and Umuahia, one of the most sophisticated and complex federal constituencies in the country, for you to be re-elected, it is based on verifiable achievement. Now, the reason I want to do this is because there are several things that I have started as a legislator pursuing for the good people of what is now Abia Central, and by extension Abia State as a whole. Because some of the projects I have facilitated that are ongoing, they are not just for the people of Ikwe and Umuahia alone. Neither are they just for Abia Central, they are for Abia State and indeed Nigeria. So some of these projects or some of these programs that have not been accomplished, I believe, God, that if I have the opportunity, the platform to continue, I will have them realized. And if you want me to, okay, very well.
Not accomplished.
Okay, for instance, when I was elected in 2015, by 14th of June 2016, I was already in the office of the Minister of Power Works and Housing, as it was then called, Babatunde Raji Fashola SAN, to make a strong case for the Umuahia Ikuano Ekote Beni Federal Road, which by then was absolutely and totally impassable. By then, not even Dangote truck could cross from Doru to Isiala. They used to pass from Ikweke to, Loko, then to Amizi, because the road was. But I made that case and told the minister right there that, look, this road must be fixed to allow people pass.
What year was this?
This was on the 14th of June, 2016. And after making my presentation, that we have to fix the roof's palliative work first, and then go for total reconstruction of the road, because we want to move away from the annual ritual of palliative work here, palliative work there, and then it collapses again. Of course, the minister agreed. Yeah, the minister agreed with me and asked his most senior engineer Baladan Shehu by then to do a letter committing the federal government to doing the palliative work and doing the reconstruction. And also to add in that letter, this honorable member should be commended for having the interest of his constituency at heart. The letter is written and dated the 15th of June, 2016. If you want, I'll show you a copy. And then I have followed through on that road. One, we got the palliative work done in 2017, early 2017. And then I followed through until the road was awarded. And even when it failed, when they could not fund it, I persisted until the road was transferred to an NPC road tax credit scheme. As we speak.
What's the status?
The status is that it's ongoing. You see the construction work going on near FMC. It's the construction company that
You
is
just
doing.
started the construction work
That's
just very recently.
No, that's not. You don't have the facts. The facts are that you go from Nduru to Okwe, going to Isiala, which used to be the most, first sections of that road, which is what I referred to when I said they used to pass from Ikweke, Oloko, and all that. That is ongoing. And then they're also coming from a contact Benin.
Thank you.
Because this is a 50-kilometer road.
Your time is up.
Thank you very much. And
That's just one of the projects.
We would ask, yes, you would have time to let us know your project because we are really interested in your project, the project you've done over time.
Esther,
Chief.
well, I know you want to move to Chief Chukwuma Chukwu, but please, I would want him to respond to what Dr. Godson Abraham said before we move over to Chief. Sir, please.
To the effect that we've been in
You've been in the system.
Okay, great. And I said, I said that, well, he's at liberty, but I would like him not to generalize, because generalization at the level of someone who has a PhD and who said he's been a senator is a risky approach when you are in a public domain like this. Why do you generalize? I just said here, except if he wasn't listening attentively, that as far back as the 90s, I facilitated a block of classrooms. And by the year 2001, I was able to bring the U.S. ambassador here to commission that block of classrooms in the days when Governor Joseph Carlo was in charge. And I brought him, and he took along the governor, then Governor Joseph Carlo, and we went to my remote village to commission the block of classrooms. And then having realized that we had the challenge of trekking 6 kilometers from my village to Boro Secondary, and 6 kilometers back if you wanted to acquire secondary education, I appealed to the ambassador for foundation to be laid for the establishment of a secondary school. No, but I'm saying, no.
He had all this, but he still believes.
No,
that,
he did not listen very well, because the point I'm making, let me finish, Mr. C, if you give me the time.
Yes.
Now, that secondary school, its function is up and running and has saved the people the problem of trekking such long distances to acquire secondary education. Now, if one could do that, and many more, without being in the system, it's not a function of being in this. But now that I'm in the system, I have been able, without sounding immodest, to make these verifiable achievements, which perhaps he's either aware of or perhaps it suits the moment for him to generalize. I will advise that he does not generalize that way, because some of us, by the grace of God, have done so much for the people.
Dr. Abraham, you want to respond?
Yes, I just want to say that bringing a U.S. ambassador to come and lay foundation is not an
No, not
achievement.
laying foundation, commission,
Or to commission. Bringing a U.S. ambassador is not.
There are two things,
is not
two things in one.
Honorable
Inaugurate
sir,
a
honorable
school
sir,
and
honorable
lay
sir,
a foundation.
honorable
So
sir,
you put the
honorable
facts
sir,
right.
honorable sir.
Yeah.
Let me just say, the first time a Polish prime minister visited Nigeria, I brought him. The last time the Polish president visited Nigeria, it was also through my influence. I do not consider those as achievements. How is that affecting?
You don't consider
the lives-
establishing a secondary school as an achievement?
No. I mean, when you are mentioning the coming of an ambassador, to commission something, it's not. It's wonderful. It's fantastic. But look at the lives of our people. Look at the poverty. Look at the situation of insect. Look at what we are going through. If it is so good, why is it so bad?
I think you are very far away from the facts, because I'm sorry. Let me finish, because you said there's opportunity for rebuttal. You cannot make such statements and then I will not respond to it. See,
Go ahead, sir.
I said he got a block of classrooms. I'm talking about the 90s. I was not in politics. And I said, when I brought the ambassador, I was able to appeal to him to lay the foundation of a secondary school. And the secondary school has been realized and is up and running. And children are no longer trekking 6 kilometers to the nearest secondary school and 6 kilometers back. That's 12 kilometers in a day. And I'm saying this was done long before I joined politics in 2010. And he was talking about people that have been in the system. So I think we are trying to situate two things clearly. So that generalization is not apt.
Honorable Sam Oniwu, are you saying if we should take a tour to your constituency, we would see well-functioning, sophisticated, classrooms, buildings for education?
Exactly. You will see that. In fact, maybe as you have asked this question, since I got into office, I've done, apart from my community, I've done blocks of classrooms at Ikebedi Central School, blocks of classrooms at Amaba Central School, blocks of classrooms at Tomo Ajata School, blocks of classrooms at Tomotewe, blocks of classrooms at Nserimu, blocks of classrooms at Nserimu, blocks of classrooms at Somokai, and so many other places. So this is an area, education, that I have taken interest, because without education, I don't think there's no other way that I could have been there.
Thank you so much.
So that's beyond my community.
Thank you, Honorable Sam Onibo. I would ask you the same question, Chief Chukwu Wachuku of the Young Progressive Party. Why exactly are you vying for this position?
Representation is exactly what it is. You represent your people. Personalizing your efforts, doesn't make you a good representative. And as far as I'm concerned, the issue is, what are the dividends that you've attracted to your people? I'm not going to allow myself to engage in arguments with any of these highly accomplished people. I will stick strictly to the point. I have marshaled out some policies, and I think we should be addressing policies. Nigeria has been through, this is the 24th year since 1999. So as far as I'm concerned, yesterday is gone. Today is the day. We're talking about family economic program as a policy. I've enunciated what I mean by family economic program. I've talked about, in relation to family economic program, I said family economic program, not KK empowerment, family economic empowerment.
Okay.
And I said good and sustainable jobs, not rice. Not everybody who bear my would understand that if you give 100 bags of rice to a local government, when you distribute them to the polling unit, they come out to 2 cups per person. Then I said, wealth creation, not gifts. You give somebody, it's demeaning to be giving you gifts. Create your own wealth. And I said, above all, we must transfer power to the next generation. When we keep, for the youth to grow, we must go down. That's as far as I'm concerned. Now, when I talk about family economic program, I'm talking about creating industrial clusters so that the people will become employers of labor themselves and not seek paid employment. And I'm talking about when you have like 500 people in a cluster in a local government, employing 4 people, they've created 5 employment opportunities. These people will create a demand because they now are paid wages. Wages have a way of triggering demand. Demand will trigger consequential supply. I've always said that as economic macro mix, that will create wealth. And so we want to create power, purchasing power through the people. There's poverty. What I said, I'm not going to respond to, because it's not a debate within us really. Let's get it clear. It's not a question of, I am better than my father has a bigger upstairs than yours. It's not a question of that. What is this? The question is, what are you doing for your people? I've heard people say 2 things. I'm a legislator. My function is to create legislation. And it's laughable because in the process of creating legislation, you create legislation that will drive the economy that will benefit your people. That's one. 2, a senator or a House of Representative person or House of Assembly person creates a platform for you to impact on the lives of the people. Okay? It's a very powerful position. So if you just sit down there and say, my function is to legislate, and if a legislator, really general, I'm talking generally here, to come out and say, I've done this, that's ridiculous, really, because legislators are not executive. What we do is attract projects, and because you sit on oversight over the budgetary system, and you now have to follow and make sure the funds are released, okay, towards your area of targeted development. Okay? So a legislator is not an executive person, but you have the influence to attract projects to your constituency. Now, when you come and claim, I've done this, I've given you X amount of kilometers, and then you say thank you to the ATM. If government doesn't give you roads, doesn't give you water, doesn't give you electricity, what is it there for? That's your function, for Christ's sake.
But we agree that we have governments that don't fulfill those.
No, they say no, that's exactly the second thing. And I addressed some people. I was in St. Jude's and SS St. Jude's in Osisoma the other day. And the guy was talking about politicians, having failed. I said, no, the politicians haven't failed, and I hope our people are listening very well. The fault is not the politicians. Well, first of all, I do not claim I'm not a politician. I'm a technocrat. Okay, because I say what I mean and I do what I say. That's what a man should be. I'm coming. Now, the fault of whether it's a good government or a bad government is the electorate who keep electing these people. Absolutely, this is an opportunity, whether we like it or not. I hope you're listening to me. Whether anybody likes it or not, the presidency must change this year, isn't it? The governorship for Abia State must change. The Senate must change. So this is an opportunity to now examine what has your life been all this time. If you're happy, go ahead. If you're not happy, it's time to change the system. It's not a personal thing. It's a decision that the voters have to make. I'm offering them family economic empowerment to empower the families to become able to present themselves. I mean, roads. Look, roads are the most simple thing to do if you're a good legislator. Buildings are there because you sit oversight. So why are you talking about? I'm not talking about anybody. It's not something to brag.
Thank you so much.
Wait a minute. You allow them. Let me 1 second. Now we're talking about creating five. No, wait a minute, Chris.
We're working with time.
We're working with time.
Okay.
So just real quick, you made mention of personalizing achievement and then transferring power to the next generation.
Yes.
And let me understand what you mean by transferring power to the next generation. If you're vying for this position at this point in time, and then personalizing achievement, what do you mean? Can you,
what I'm saying is, what you're talking about, the testimony as to what you have done is how are your people feeling about it? Are they better now? Are they poorer? Or are they richer? Are they able to buy this? Look, but nothing that shows there's poverty in the land. That is a fact. People cannot pay their school fees. That is a fact. I don't care how many roads you build. People are not able to feed. And if I am successful, and I believe I will be successful, we will be able to use the platform to say, if you've done, you have a right to have, if you contest, like Dr. Abraham was saying, if you contest and you win the first time, and you win the second time, that's it. Don't vie for another position. Let other people come about it and transfer that power to the next generation.
Well, Dr. Godson, I know you've got a reaction, probably a rebuttal on, I'm sure, some of what Chief Chukwuemeka has said. But I'll stay with you, Chief Chukwuemeka. I know you said you don't want to have a direct response to what Dr. Godson has said with regards to you being in the system all this while, and then Nigerians apparently not faring better. But all the gentlemen seated, side by side you now, I see persons who have got the legislative experience, and I know you describe yourself as a technocrat. Isn't this going to go against you in some way? And don't you think that legislative experience counts for something?
Never. Because when you reach my level, I didn't want to be talking about what I am. But I think anybody who cares to know about me, I was the former Director General of the National Directorate of Employment. I am the National President of Agricultural and Industrial Entrepreneurs of Nigeria. I've sat in Parliament in the world. And nobody was born a parliamentarian. It's the experience, like you take the office of Senate, it requires experience, not only in economic affairs, but in world affairs, because you do no longer become senator of 5%, you become a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And that's where experience counts, because the people you meet there are not small boys. This Senate is not somewhere to go and dance at Jasco or show bravado. It's experienced people. And I want to correct something. It is his right to say all these people, and I do not condemn anybody who has run before, wants to run again. It is their right.
Thank you.
Okay? But there's a difference between an executive position as the Director General of the National Director of Employment and being a system operator in the political sphere. Now, as a Director General, we created 100,000 Nigerians skills acquisition, because even if you want jobs, you have to have a skill set. And these 100,000 people, when they, and I'm going to do it again.
We will talk about that when we get to that point. But we would love to ask you the same question, Honorable Darlington Wukocha. Why exactly, you made mention of the fact that you have been a serial legislator. So why exactly are you going for this position again?
Thank you, the presenter. Thank you, my brothers. I want to represent my people to deepen on what I have been doing and what I am doing presently in the legislative arm of our economy. What do I mean by that? When I say that I'm a serial legislator, when you talk about legislation and legislature, you need experience. That is where you have the word they call ranking. And in this experience, because the legislature is an arm different from the executive, most of the things they have mentioned here resides predominantly to a very great extent around the executive arm. That is why if you don't bring in somebody that is conversant and competent enough to streamline clearly what the functions of a legislator is, you find out that they keep dancing around until when their tenure will finish, because they will be thinking they are there as just being part and arm of the executive. That is where the experience comes in. What do I mean? There are three major mandates of a legislator. One is lawmaking, secondly representation, thirdly oversight. And within these three, I can tell you that I have robustly performed credibly well, that I want to expand all these areas which I know that I have the advantage to a very great extent across the 6 local governments that make up the Abia Central. Like today, if you go to Isialangwa North and South, because when you say that you are representing Isialangwa North and South, fine, as your constituency, but you are representing the entire Nigeria. Even at that, there are things you drive home to show that you are representing your people. While maybe when you are doing that function of either bill or motion or things that has to do with entire Nigeria, now you are representing Nigeria at that particular platform. But when it comes to your constituency, there are major things, representation, which is another element of the part of the mandate of a legislator. That one has to do with bringing things down home so that your people can have the feel of your lobbying capacity and strength over there. Because what the legislator
is referring to constituency projects.
Constituency projects is different. The constituency projects are those ones to a very great extent that features in the appropriation. There are things that you attract to them based on your lobbying capacity. Lobbying is an instrument in the legislature that you use to reach out to other members of the legislature or the ministries to attract things that you know that are deficient within your constituency. And those deficiencies are the gaps you must find a way of filling. Like
so how would you describe that then?
How?
I mean, I asked you initially, are you referring to constituency projects? You said no.
No. You still refer it as those projects, not constituency project. Well, it is within your constituency. You can still say, because most times, you may not have all those alone in your constituency. Like now, Osisioma is not part of my constituency, but I did my primary school in Osisioma. And because of the dilapidated nature of that particular primary school, I am remodeling the school, building a different environment in that school, which is a very standard school if you go to that place right now. Both mapping and designing of that school. That is not within. So if you are talking about constituency, that is why I don't want to restrict it within constituency project, as if it's within the constituency you are representing alone. No. But there are certain projects, you can give it in quotes, that these are projects you attract to make sure that you just reduce the gap of those infrastructure decays within your environment. That is one. Two, like Dr. Gossin said, because he mentioned my name, that is why I'm just saying this. You know, he said that...
you want to do a report on what he said?
Yes, what he said, that we've featured...
You've been in the
system for long.
For long. And as a matter of fact, you had been in the legislature since 2007.
Yes.
Maybe the reason why you said you're a serial legislator.
Yes, that's why I said...
respond to that.
Yes, I want to respond to that. Like, he gave me his card when we stepped into this place. And I read that he's been in the Polish assembly or the
Polish
parliament for so many years. That he's a diaspora actor or politician. How, to what extent did he reflect it? Because he could have as well exported most of the things within his own area. I'm not saying across entire Abia or Nigeria. Within his own area, exported either in terms of intellectual export or some things to show that while he was there, because now he's not trying to do the comparative analysis or balancing people that have been featuring in government here and he has been featuring in government over there. So I think these are things we have to bring, because when the rubber hits the road, you must do the necessary comparative analysis.
Maybe
because
to help if we know how
understand how he felt, because from the picture he painted, that place is more exposed. So to what extent did he rub off that his presence over there? Because what his charisma, maybe 10 or 15 years he's been in the parliament there, rub off positively within his local content here.
Thank you so much, Honorable Darlington. And Dr. Abraham would give you time to respond. But just a quick one, Honorable Darlington. You made mention of the fact that you have the experience and that is why you're vying for this position.
Yes.
But the next question I would ask is, were you born a legislator or someone gave you an opportunity for you to have the experience that you have now? If you've been there over time, do you think that experience alone is enough reason for you to be vying for the position you are vying for?
No, it's not. Experience is not enough. You have to, it's something, it's a total package. Your capacity, that is your content. Your content, your experience, and your exposure. These are the perfect marriage that can help you drive. Because in the business of the legislature, you should understand that it's something that people from different areas have been elected to come to the fore, for you to meet with them, rub minds with them. Now, if you are bankrupt upstairs, if they notice that you're bankrupt upstairs, there will be a mismatch completely. But when they understand that you are rich intellectually, not only intellectually as per what you have upstairs, but in the business of the legislator, that is where the ranking, they say ranking. Because ranking is the number of times you feature, revolve, now matters a lot because it attracts its own advantage. And the advantage is that, for instance, today I'm a chairman of a committee. Is based on the experience I had over time that made them to make me the chairman of a committee, which if you go to my federal constituency, by the time I'll list out the things I have achieved within that place, you will quite understand the import and the need for you to feature a ranking member at all times in the legislature. And remember that the legislature in the state or the councillor or in the local government is not the same thing, because it's a wider sphere where tribes, religion, and other things play a whole lot of factor at the national level, because you need to be a very strong voice. You need to have the capacity and the content at all times to drive.
Thank you very much, Honorable Darlington, which are the candidates of the Labour Party. We'll be going for a break shortly, but in case you just tuned in, it's the Abia State election debate, reaching it live from the frequency of Family Love 99.9 FM, Omar here. And
we also have partnering stations, Rapid 96.5 FM, Flow 94.9 FM, Vision Africa Radio 104.1, Real FM 99.1, Sun 91.3 Iwere. We also have other platforms like the All Facts News TV, Abia Post, Infonet Nigeria, Candid Reporters, Casa TV, Prof J's blog, and the Reach News Online.
Well, today's debate is for candidates vying for Abia Central Senatorial District, like you might have heard already, and candidate of the African Democratic Congress, Dr. John Abraham Godson, Honorable Sam Onwebo of the All Progressives Congress, Chief Chukwumachuku of the Young, and of course Honorable Darlington Walkacha of the Labour Party. Let's do a break. My name is Mr. C.
And my name is Esther Umelo.
Stay with us.
We have spent just about 6.8 billion naira on roads, and we are still celebrating.
In 2019, the debate team shut down the airwaves.
Abia are very far from governance. Hand over the state to the people of Abia.
There's no owing of salaries. Our people is the greatest asset that we have.
We engaged candidates and interrogated their manifestos.
The performance of your administration plans to grow the economy.
We must find other ways of raising our economy, and agriculture is key. So we are going to.
It's about to go down again. The 2023 general election under a reformed electoral act demands critical citizen engagement more than ever. Abia State Election Debate Group is back with a bang. We are set to launch out and engage governorship, deputy governorship, senatorials across Abia State. The debate will be aired across partner radio stations, online platforms and TV stations from January 2023. Media partners: Flow 94.9 FM, Family Love 99.9 FM, Real 99.1 FM, Vision Africa Radio 104.1 FM, DCA 88.1 FM, Rapid 96.5 FM, Sun 91.9 FM, Abba, Sun 91.3 FM, Iberi, All Facts Online TV, AFNEWS.ng, CandidReporters.com, InfonetNiger.com, CasatNews.com, CityTimesOnline.com, TheBridgeNewsOnline.com, and ProfJBlog.com, and other online platforms. It's only an incompetent candidate that would not debate.
We have spent just about 6.8.
Shut down the airwaves.
Abia are very far from governance. Hand over the state to the people of Abia.
No owing of salaries. Our people is the greatest asset that we have.
We engaged candidates and interrogated their manifestos.
The performance of the administration plans to grow the economy.
We must find other ways of raising our economy, and agriculture is key. So we're going to.
It's about to go down again. The 2023 general election under a reformed electoral act demands critical citizen engagement more than ever. Abia State Election Debate Group is back with a bang. We are set to launch out and engage governorship, deputy governorship, senatorial and House of Representative candidates across Abia State. The debate will be aired across partner radio stations, online platforms and TV stations from January 2023. Media partners: Flow 94.9 FM, Family Love 99.9 FM, Real 99.1 FM, Vision Africa Radio 104.1 FM, DCA 88.1 FM, Rapid 96.5 FM, Sun 91.9 FM, Abba, Sun 91.3 FM, Iberi, All Facts Online TV, AFNEWS.ng, CandidReporters.com, InfonetNiger.com, CasatNews.com, CityTimesOnline.com, TheBridgeNewsOnline.com, and ProfJBlog.com, and other online platforms. It's only an incompetent candidate that would not debate.
We have spent just about 6.8 billion naira on roads, and we are still celebrating.
In 2019, Abia State Election Debate Team shut down the airwaves.
Abia are very far from governance. Hand over the state to the people of Abia.
No owing of salaries. Our people is the greatest asset that we have.
We engaged candidates and interrogated their manifestos.
The performance of the administration plans to grow the economy.
We must find other ways of raising our economy, and agriculture is key. So we're going to.
It's about to go down again. The 2023 general election under a reformed electoral act demands critical citizen engagement more than ever. Abia State Election Debate Group is back with a bang. We are set to launch out and engage governorship, deputy governorship, senatorial and House of Representative candidates across Abia State. The debate will be aired across partner radio stations, online platforms and TV stations from January 2023. Media partners: Flow 94.9 FM, Family Love 99.9 FM, Real 99.1 FM, Vision Africa Radio 104.1 FM, DCA 88.1 FM, Rapid 96.5 FM, Sun 91.9 FM, Abba, Sun 91.3 FM, Iberi, All Facts Online TV, AFNEWS.ng, CandidReporters.com, InfonetNiger.com, CasatNews.com, CityTimesOnline.com, TheBridgeNewsOnline.com, and ProfJBlog.com, and other online platforms. It's only an incompetent candidate that would not debate.
We have spent just about 6.8 billion naira on roads, and we are still celebrating.
In 2019, Abia State Election Debate Team shut down the airwaves.
Abia are very far from governance. Hand over the state to the people of Abia.
No owing of salaries. Our people is the greatest asset that we have.
We engaged candidates and interrogated their manifestos.
The performance of the administration plans to grow the economy.
We must find other ways of raising our economy, and agriculture is key. So we're going to.
It's about to go down again. The 2023 general election under a reformed electoral act demands critical citizen engagement more than ever. Abia State Election Debate Group is back with a bang. We are set to launch out and engage governorship, deputy governorship, senatorial, and House of Representative candidates from January 2023. Media partners: Flow 94.9 FM, Family Love 99.9 FM, Real 99.1 FM, Vision Africa Radio 104.1 FM, DCA 88.1 FM, Rapid 96.5 FM, Sun 91.9 FM, Abba, Sun 91.3 FM, Iberi, All Facts Online TV, AFNEWS.ng, CandidReporters.com, InfonetNiger.com, CasatNews.com, CityTimesOnline.com, TheBridgeNewsOnline.com, and ProfJBlog.com, and other online platforms. It's only an incompetent candidate that would not debate.
Spent just about 6.8 billion naira on roads, and we are still celebrating.
In 2019, Abia State Election Debate Team shut down the airwaves.
Abia are very far from governance. Hand over the state to the people of Abia.
No owing of salaries. Our people is the greatest asset that we have.
We engaged candidates and interrogated their manifestos.
The performance of the administration plans to grow the economy.
We must find other ways of raising our economy, and agriculture is key. So we're going to.
It's about to go down again. The 2023 general election under a reformed electoral act demands critical citizen engagement more than ever. Abia State Election Debate Group is back with a bang. We are set to launch out and engage governorship, deputy governorship, senatorial, and House of Representative candidates across Abia State. The debate will be aired across partner radio stations, online platforms, and TV stations from January 2023. Media partners: Flow 94.9 FM.
Just tuned in, this is the Abia State Election Debate organized by Abia State Election Debate Team, and we have right here in the studio candidates that are vying for Abia Central Senatorial Zone. We have in the studio Honorable Darlington Wokocha of Labour Party, Chief Chukwu Wachuku of the Young Progressive Party, Dr. John Abraham Godson of African Democratic Congress, and Honorable Sam Onibu of the All Progressive Congress.
Well, just to let you know that this debate is aired across partnering stations. First off, coming to you live from the frequency of Family Love 99.9 FM, Rapid 96.5 FM, Flow 94.9 FM, Vision Africa Radio 104.1, Real FM 99.1, Sun 91.3 Ibere. And again, just to add that other platforms airing this is All Facts News TV, Abia Pulse, Infonet Niger, Candid Reporters, Kesat TV, Prof J's blog, and the Bridge News Online. Esther.
I would come to you, Dr. John Abraham. While Honorable Darlington Wokocha was speaking, you raised your hand. You might want to respond to what he said.
Yes, actually, I have a response not just to Honorable Darlington, but also to Chief Wachuku. Okay. Let me start with Chief Wachuku. He said that in his program is transfer of power to the next generation. If I read very well, Chief Wachuku, you are 75 years old, and I think that, you know, to be credible, you should be handing over power to the next generation. To those in their 50s and to those in their 40s. I'm sure you have grandchildren. You know, I'm a grandfather myself. I'm 52 years old. But this should be a wonderful time, you know, to spend with grandchildren and enjoying yourself and mentoring, advising and supporting the younger generation. And then coming to Honorable Darlington, you asked how did my being a Polish senator, what are the effects? I will talk about those effects in two levels. If you remember, I started my statement by saying that you people have been in the system, and the situation is getting worse and worse and worse. Now let us look at Poland, in which system I was. The Polish economy, when I went to Poland in 1993, in 1990, GDP per capita in Poland was about 1,690. Today, it's about $35,000. All right, Poland, like I said, is the 6th largest economy in the European Union, the 20th largest economy in the world. And so I wasn't just a spectator. I participated in some of those changes. Poland is part of the European Union, part of NATO, part of Schengen.
Dr. John, just to cut you, hold on. Just to cut you a bit, I would like if you respond to what he said, how it reflects on the life of the people, just so you know we are being timed here.
I am coming to that. I am coming to that. I said at two levels. I've spoken about the first level, the effect there. Now I'm coming to the effect here in Nigeria. Of course, my primary constituency as a Polish legislator was to Poland, to Polish people, to my electorate. But I also did some, things here. In the past couple of years, we've given out my foundation, the John Gotson Foundation.
Excuse me. I want you to understand something. We are talking about legislature. I don't want any mix-up. You said that the GDP then was either 1,600 or 1,600 something, something you mentioned, right? Yes. Now, which law? Can you tell us one law? Because I have my phone here so that we can Google. Which law did you make then that activated such an action?
I just cannot.
Because I want you to understand the function of the legislature. Let me respond talking about the legislature, and then if there's a particular law which you initiated and it was enacted that dovetailed improving that economy, you tell us so that you don't come here to deceive people that we made a particular law as if you are just in charge of the entire economy. I want you to say one law, because I want you to see, you say you're a legislator. Tell me one law that you enacted as a single person enactment or law that dovetailed into improving that economy.
Honorable Darlington, you exactly know what you are doing. But let me give this example. As a member of the parliament, I was the chairman of the subcommittee for the development of internet technology.
Fine.
So now listen very carefully. Please do not interrupt me.
No, go ahead.
That's not gentle. And one of the projects that actually one of my campaign projects was the establishment of free internet in all public places in Poland. All right. And as the chairman of that subcommittee, this is actually functioning now. Poland, when you look at the internet speed in Poland is, the average is about 500 megabytes per second. In Nigeria, it's about 10 megabytes per second. With equivalent of 5,000 naira, you have unlimited access. Sorry, please do not interrupt.
No, I'm not interrupting. I want to redirect.
Can I just finish? No, don't direct.
You are the deputy chairman. In the legislature, you have the chairman and members of the committee and the deputy chairman.
Do not direct.
Did you move any law as far as? Are you saying that you were the person that moved?
Excuse me.
The law for the enactment of internet. I want to direct. Yes,
Mr. Darlington,
because the one that moved the law.
That moved the bill.
There were various things. I said I wasn't the deputy chairman. I was the chairman.
You said that we will be here, that we've been in the system, we've not been doing it. I want you to exactly tell me that I'm going to tell you some of the bills that I have moved on the floor.
Okay, so that question is
now you have moved. You have talking about this internet connection that now blossomed the entire economy. I want to know, were you the person that moved that bill into law that now blossomed the economy on that internet?
I want to say that as the chairman of the subcommittee,
deputy chairman.
I said chairman.
Okay, good.
I didn't say deputy chairman. Please listen very carefully. As the chairman of the subcommittee on the development of internet technology, there were a number of legislations. I'm not going to go into each and every one of them now. There were a number of legislations that, and in fact the phone companies were also participating in our meetings. And some of the things that even had to happen didn't need any legislation. They just took decision. No, they just took decisions.
That means that you didn't do your function as a copy. No, excuse me. Let me lecture him a little. Because when
this is a debate, Honorable Darlington.
Can I please continue?
So, in essence, we are being time conscious.
We are being very time conscious here. Chief Chukwuwachuku, you raised your hand. You want to react to something?
Yeah, I figured that the only way you can get to speak is if you raise your hand. So that's why I raised my hand. Each time they raise their hand, you recognize them. I think I've made it quite clear. The issue is not about us. It's about those whom we represent. All the polemics, all the argument, if it doesn't translate to families being able to feed themselves, they waste our time. What we're looking at here, amongst our constituents, we have teachers who have secondary school teachers. It is a function of the federal government to pay their school fees, their salaries, isn't it? And so when you sit there and the state government is not paying their school fees, their salaries, it is my intention to compel through federal legislation, because you sit in oversight, to ensure that these people are paid their salaries as at when due. The secondary school teachers are different.
Sorry, sir, it's not possible.
Excuse me.
It's not possible, sir. Oh, sorry.
You see, one thing I don't like.
I'm sorry. Certain things are itching my ears. I'm very sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, sir.
I'm not come here to argue.
Sorry, sir.
I am a proud member of AFNEWS, that's motorcycle organization. And I've told them as a member of AFNEWS, there's a bank called Development Bank of Nigeria, and I will make sure that they do not ever buy motorcycles on hire purchase. As an expert on entrepreneurship development, which I introduced into Nigeria, I'm also the national president of Agricultural and Industrial Entrepreneurs in Nigeria. I am more focused in creating industrial clusters in every local government of Nigeria.
Thank you.
Now, excuse me.
Chief Wachuku, we'll give you time to tell us what you would do for your people. Honorable Darlington, you want to react?
Yeah, there are a few things he mentioned.
1 minute, please.
Yes, there are a few things he mentioned. One, he mentioned about that it's not necessary for a legislator to say that attracted road because it is cast on steel that is your mandate. It's not directly your mandate. As far as you are a legislator, now you find yourself in that big house called the National Assembly. It's just like a rat race. To the extent you can muzzle your way to attract as much as possible certain infrastructures to your place, that should be quite commendable, because it's not an even standard. It is an uneven standard where as much as you can get, all good and fine. Now, coming to the one that I was saying that it was itching my ears. You're talking about you will use legislation to make sure that certain primary school teachers are paid. You cannot do that from the federal. It's not possible. There are different tiers of government, and they have different standards and responsibilities they accomplish. And coming to say that the law you're going to make at the national will compel a governor to pay salaries and whatever. What are the functions of the House of Assembly? You don't mix it up. What I want to say is that there are, all of us are here. We are to talk to our people, speak to our people. There are things I want to hear or speak to our people so that they will understand the war falls within the purview of your responsibility. And I do not want any deceit of any kind. I want us to tell our people what we should do, not what they want to hear.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Honorable. Everybody seems to want to speak.
I do not want to.
Honorable Samuel,
because I do not respond.
Chief Chukwuwachuku, you want to speak?
No,
so we'll give you time. We'll give you time.
Yeah, no, I want to say this thing. Because I do not respond to issues raised by other people doesn't mean I don't know what to say. I said to myself, I'm not coming here to. I want us to end this debate, end this election. I'll still become friends.
Yeah, absolutely.
After. So I'm not going to respond to what anybody raises here, because when you go to the Senate, that's a sense of maturity. You keep quiet when other people talk.
Oh well, this is a debate, Chief Chukwuwachuku, and of course we can allow, like we said, rebuttal. The reason why you're given an opportunity to do so as well. I can see you, Honorable Samuel. You want to make a rebuttal, is it?
No, just a clarification,
yes, because next we'll be moving on to the issue of your priority areas,
okay.
The test of your knowledge of what you think your constituency needs at this point in time. But go ahead, Honorable Samuel.
Okay, thank you very much. Dr. John, at some point, was saying, oh no, bring an ambassador, come and open a school and all that. It's nothing. I would like him to look at that again, because education is the foundation. And I recall that before we brought you BEG and all these other intervention agencies that are helping now to build this and build that. Immediately the military finished, all these things were not in place. And having blocks of classrooms and all that. In fact, in my community, there were 11 streams in the primary school, but they were managing 7 classrooms, meaning 2 streams used to squeeze into one. While they are doing A, B, C, D, the other people are doing 1, 2, 3 in the same classroom. And that was not conducive for learning. And that was what informed my struggling to get a block of classrooms, which eased the pressure. So that, for me, is the foundation of achievement to move forward. So he should not try to, trivialize such accomplishment.
Oh, thank you very much, Honorable Simon Rigo. I'm still with you now, like I said. What area, if you're given the mandates of the people of Abia Central, would be your priority? What would be your priority project in terms of legislature and maybe constituency projects as well?
Thank you. May I just take this opportunity to remind some of our viewers, with respect, that when I consulted in 2013-2014 to run and represent the good people of Great Ikwa and Omai, I went to various homes, in fact, over 285 homes, explaining to them that I would like to run on the acronym of EAR, which is effectiveness. I promise them I'll be effective on the floor of the house and also effective in the communities, and effective in going to some of the agencies to look for projects to bring to the community or to the constituency. I also said I was going to be accessible, which is the A, to those who have used the power of their tongues to elevate me to this high position. And R stands for responsiveness. I said I will be responsive to their legitimate needs, concerns, and aspirations. That's what I have done over the